Can you imagine what Portland is going to look like soon? No businesses, a whole bunch of safe spaces filled with cotton candy, and far left extremists still protesting and burning down everything they've asked for. It's the only place it can go to. I love this story. Portland State creates cotton candy filled safe space to protect students from gender critical activists. Here we go. This is what Portland has become. The downtown businesses are shutting down due to rampant crime. Far left extremists go around attacking people. And the universities are terrified of opinions that they don't agree with. So they're going to create cotton candy filled safe spaces. That's your future, Portland. Man, I saw these posts from people being like, I'm moving to Portland. And I'm wondering, you are? You got to be out of your mind to live in that place. How do you live in a place where the businesses, these are not conservatives, are fleeing from the downtown area? All right, let's read the news. Portland State University issued a statement on Monday condemning gender critical protesters coming to campus. They informed the community that the school will provide safe spaces for students to keep away from the anti-trans agitators. You see what they do? This is such a ridiculous cult. Those safe spaces for adult-aged students will include cotton candy, coloring books, crafts, and temporary tattoos. PSU President Stephen Percy said in a statement. You know, look, man, I'm not a conservative, never been a conservative, and I'm going to say it right now. Y'all conservatives, you ain't going to win me over with these pro-life arguments. If these people are advocating for their right to not reproduce, I ain't fighting them. They don't care that I say that either. Only you do, conservatives. This is the funniest thing. I come out and I'm like, I think abortion's wrong. Sterilizing kids, clearly wrong. But we are at an impasse where these people are voting in favor of this. And, well, our constitutional republic allows that they set the rules for their jurisdictions. And so they've created a system in which they will live this way. Well, I've resigned myself to that. I recognize I'm not going to be involved in the way they live. And they are removing their ability to reproduce and outright aborting their babies. And I'm just like, okay. I know the pro-lifers and the conservatives are like, we got to stop this. This is horrible. And I'm like, I agree, but I ain't going to be going into this place. Are you going to go march in there with the government and be like, time to shut these things down? No. So the end result is obvious. It doesn't matter what you want or what you think. And it's perfectly acceptable, reasonable. Nay, it is required that you express your disdain for what they're doing. But the long run, it's simple. Give it a couple generations. These ideas, they don't exist. And I know you say like, yeah, but it's in the universities. Stop putting your kids in universities. That's it. We're at an inflection point where conservatives are homeschooling their kids and this stuff's going to stop spreading. It's going to stop with the people who end their own lineage. So what am I supposed to say about it? Cry? Well, they've chose it for themselves. They vote for this. Congratulations. Here's the statement from Portland State. It says, Dear campus community, recent headlines have pointed out that the anti-trans bills in the legislatures across the country have doubled since last year. With 469 bills introduced and 38 new laws on the books in some 13 states, many loud voices have made no secret of their desire to target trans, non-binary, and gender-diverse people. Gender-diverse, what does that mean? At Portland State, we are committed to being a safe space for all members of the LGBTQIA community to learn and thrive, et cetera, et cetera. We know there's resources. Our colleagues at the Queer Resource Center offer many resources and opportunities to connect and show support, including QRC hosts a number of affinity groups, including a trans social space called Tea Time. Next week, they'll host Trans and Gender Expansive Celebration. Another way to show support is by donating, yada, yada. Elsewhere in Portland, the Q Center will provide several affinity and support groups to offer Sexual and Gender Minority Youth Resource Center, a harassment-free space. Community members will have experienced discrimination, harassment, blah, 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 can go there. We get it. Relationships, you get it. You get the point. Instead, cotton candy, temporary tattoos, and coloring will be available. Where does it actually say that? Where does it actually bring that up? Follows up with more information. Is this where they mention that they're going to have cotton candy? Be prepared to show your ID. The Queer Resource Center. So am I missing this? They say we invite folks to wear masks as an act of community care when not eating or drinking. What? Yo, the weirdest thing that I experienced, I was at MGM National Harbor this past weekend. It's the casino, restaurant, shopping center thing. I was playing poker. I was playing 2-5, as it were, for those that are familiar. And there were two guys wearing masks. And I thought about asking them, like, why are you wearing masks? Nobody else is. Is it a poker thing? Like, you don't want people to see your tells? It's a good idea, actually. Maybe I should wear a mask with sunglasses, pull my hood up, and then no one will be able to see my face and tell what I'm trying to do. Although I don't think it matters all that much. But why are they still wearing masks is the weirdest thing. That I just don't understand. Here it is right here. It says the QRC will host trans and a gender expansive celebration. Cotton candy, temporary tattoos, and coloring will be available. Welcome to the modern era, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you send your kids into when you send them to college. But you know what? So be it. You see, the people who watch my videos tend to be key demographic. So for the most part, they don't have kids that are going to college. I think for the most part, though, y'all get it. That's why I'm fairly optimistic about the future. The people who watch videos like this, the people who watch Tucker Carlson probably do have college-age kids and aren't putting them in these places. For those of you now who watch, you got young kids, probably 6-7 years old, maybe at this point, a little bit older. The average viewer of this channel, I think it's like 30 years old, 32 years old maybe, because the age goes slightly up as we all age. But we do capture many young people. I've actually met many young people who watch these videos. When you do have kids, many of you are probably having kids nowish. Just remember this. This is what universities are. Now, to be fair, in 20 years or 18 years, when your kid is now entering school, maybe 15 for those that already have kids, maybe 10 for those that have older kids, maybe even 3 years for those that have teen children. Things change. I don't know what colleges are going to look like in 20 years. In fact, I think it's entirely possible they just don't exist. Because I don't understand how this can function as a business. For what purpose would you send your child to a university? Portland State. Well, They argue to me when I was young, if you don't go to college, you don't get a good job. Oh boy, here we go. I remember I'm hanging out at UIC in Chicago with a bunch of people who are like 2 years younger than me. And I didn't go to college. I dropped out of high school. And they're all talking about their majors. Like, I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do that. I'm currently taking these classes. And then someone goes to me like, what about you? What are you taking? And I was like, oh, I'm not going to college. And then they're like, why are you stupid? And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And they were like, I'm going to graduate and make like $70,000 a year and you're going to be working at McDonald's. And I was like, you think when you graduate, you'll make $70,000 a year? It's like, wow. It's like these people never met human beings. And guess what? The funny thing about the story is that by the time they graduated, I was a director at a nonprofit making like 35 to 40 a year, and they were working at Starbucks. The reality was my real world experience contributed to my ability to get a salaried job at a nonprofit, albeit not a great salary, but how old was I? Like 23, 20? I think I was 23 years. Whoa. Yeah, I was 23. Man, it's like 15 years ago. Time flies. Yeah, I'm like 23 years old and I'm making 35. It was like 36 something a year. And paid the bills. I was able to get an apartment, take the bus to work every day. And they were working at Starbucks making like $10K a year because they weren't getting enough hours. And they were like, I can't afford my rent. And I'm like, where's that college degree? And they're like, I got to pay my student loan debt. And I'm like, where's that college degree getting you? Here I am as a director at a nonprofit. Like, no joke. I was a director. It was a good job. And then, I started doing all of this. Now, here I am, Mr. Old High School dropout, running a multi-million-dollar business with several dozen employees, expanding and creating very influential content. My point is not to be humble brag or anything like that, but for what purpose would you send your kid to college? I'll tell you what you should do. Have your kid learn a skill, okay? Teach your child to be good at things, and then they'll be successful and well off. Is your child a leader or are they a follower? You can foster these things in your kid and you can foster these things in yourself. But some people don't want to be leaders. Some people just want to be followers. Some people don't want to be followers. Me, I've never been the person who wanted to be at a rock concert. I wanted to be playing the rock concert. Don't ask me why. I don't know if there's a reason. My friends would be like, hey, you want to go to a show? And I'd be like, no, I want to play the show. I want to make the music. I want to do the thing. I don't want to watch sports. I want to play the sports. I want to experience the actual excitement. But not everybody has that. And that's why I understand parents want to put their kids in college because they want their kids just to be a good worker. Not everybody needs to be a leader. There's nothing dishonorable about being a follower. Follower doesn't mean bad thing. I hope everyone understands that. Followers can be good people. They're followers of Christ, for instance. Maybe many of you maybe are religious. You wouldn't call those people bad people or disrespectful for being followers. People follow me on Twitter. They're all really good people who are following me. And everybody in their own respect is a leader in their own regard. If someone comes to me and they're a humble carpenter, if we're going to be building a skate ramp, I certainly am not the leader in this circumstance. They are. They're going to tell me what needs to be done, what do I need to hold, where I need to screw the bolt in or whatever it is. Your expertise leads you in that direction. But some people just want to work for the company. They don't want to run the company. Running the company is stressful. That's why I think it's important you instill real values in your kids, lest they end up with shaved heads, eating cotton candy in a safe space instead of actually learning how to survive. But give it time and see where they end up if you ignore them. They won't be able to survive. And maybe we do get a crash, a crisis, a calamity, who knows? And then ask yourself, who is likely to survive something like that? It ain't these people. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. We got more on the subject. Stick around, and I'll see you all shortly.